You finally found an hour with nothing urgent to fix. You sit down, the room is quiet, and your phone makes one ordinary notification sound. Before you even know what the notification says, you've already checked it, opened tomorrow's calendar, and started rehearsing everything that could go wrong. You're exhausted. You've wanted rest all day, but now that rest is available, you can't settle into it. Why does the response keep going when the emergency is already ended? That's what we're going to talk about in today's video. I want to call this a post emergency state. It's the experience of remaining watchful, restless, tired, emotionally flat, or unable to settle after one external demand has eased. The thing is, aftermath is not diagnosis. And by the end of the video, I'll give you three questions that you can use: state, context, impact. The goal is not to diagnose yourself. The goal is to understand what is happening now using state, context, and impact, and choose one useful support. Let's go back to Alex. In the last two episodes, Alex had been carrying income, childcare, transportation, paperwork, emergencies, and the job of staying calm. A friend offered to pick up Alex's child from school on Tuesday, once a week for 6 weeks. That gave Alex one free hour. So it's Tuesday. Alex sits down. Nothing urgent is happening in that moment. Then the phone makes a sound. Alex checks it immediately. It's not bad news. It's just a notification. But Alex has already checked tomorrow's calendar and started preparing for problems that haven't happened. Maybe you recognize this. You spent months or years responding quickly because something really did need your attention. You learn to check the phone and read the room, remember the deadline, prepare for the next problem, and keep functioning while other people were allowed to fall apart. Then the thing that's demanding changes finally, like a crisis ends, or a relationship ends, or a person leaves. And then something good finally happens in your life, or one supportive thing or a person finally arrives in your life. But you are still responding as if things are an emergency. That could look like waking before the alarm because tomorrow has already started in your mind. It could look like finishing one task and immediately searching for a different task. You may sit down to watch something, read the same paragraph 3 times, and realize that part of your attention is still listening for the next demand. None of these moments tells us why it's happening, but they give us something concrete to observe. The old question was, what needs my attention right now? But the new question for you to consider is harder. Does this still need my attention in the same way? The response may feel automatic. The observation is still available. When I say the body doesn't know the emergency is over, I'm not saying your body has beliefs. Trauma is stored somewhere inside you. I'm not saying your nervous system is stuck, permanently rewired, or trapped in a specific scientific condition called survival mode. I'm not saying those things. I'm saying our response can continue after the conditions that once made the response useful have changed. For example, Alex checked notifications quickly because notifications sometimes carried consequences. Alex rehearsed tomorrow because being unprepared had a cost. Alex kept moving because stopping didn't make the demands stop. The checking, rehearsing, and task focus had a purpose inside that situation. But now the situation is different. But it's not magically simple. A friend is handling one school pickup. That doesn't mean every bill is paid, every relationship safe, every institution is trustworthy, or every consequence of rupture has ended. One emergency ending doesn't prove that every practical threat is gone. So we have to hold two truths at the same time. Your alarm can continue after a particular threat changes, and some threats, some demands, some consequences may still be present. If I tell you you're completely safe now, I may be ignoring your reality. If I tell you your inability to relax proves you're still in danger, I may also be ignoring your reality. Felt danger and the current observable context are related, but they aren't identical. This is why aftermath is not diagnosis. The Department of Veterans Affairs says upsetting memories, feeling on edge, and difficulty sleeping can be normal after a traumatic event. It also says most people begin feeling better after a few weeks. The National Institute of Mental Health describes varied early reactions, including anxiety, sadness, anger, trouble concentrating, or trouble sleeping, and says most people exposed to traumatic events don't develop PTSD. The VA says that if symptoms last longer than 4 weeks, cause great distress, or interfere with work or home life, a person might have PTSD. Feeling on edge doesn't prove PTSD. Trouble sleeping itself doesn't prove PTSD. Fatigue doesn't prove laziness or permanent damage. An emotionally flat hour doesn't prove that you no longer love anyone or care about anything. Vectin describes emotional numbing as being unable to feel or experience emotions. But we don't need to label Alex's experience as emotional numbing. We can stay with what is observable. Alex feels tired, checks quickly, rehearses tomorrow, and can't settle into the free hour that Alex has now. It doesn't minimize the experience. It gives us a more useful question than what label proves how damaged I am. The question that's more useful is what am I experiencing? What is happening around me now? What is making what is this making harder? Let's look at Alex one step at a time. Alex hears the notification and checks the phone. That's the behavior. Alex feels the immediate pull toward tomorrow's problems. That's the internal experience. The calendar shows no new emergency. The school pickup is still covered. Several other responsibilities remain. That's the current context. Then we look at impact. Alex has an hour available for rest, but spends most of it checking, rehearsing, and preparing. Alex sleeps poorly and has less patience the next morning. The state is affecting rest, attention, and daily functioning. Now we have something more useful than just saying, I'm broken. So, what do you do with this information? Three things you can check. First is your state, then the context, and then the impact. So, the first question is, what is the state? What are you noticing in your body? What are you noticing in your attention, your emotion, your sleep, or your behavior? What are you noticing? Keep it concrete. I checked the lock 6 times. I woke up at 4 and rehearsed tomorrow. I'm exhausted, but I can't settle. My friend asked me a simple question and I couldn't follow it. I felt nothing during a moment when I expected relief. These are concrete observations. Don't rush from the observation to a diagnosis. State what you can notice. It's not what you've proven. After you check what state you're in, check what is the context? What is happening now? What changed? What remains? Maybe the relationship ended, but the financial consequences remain. Maybe the legal process ended, but a co parenting obligation remains. Maybe housing is stable today, but income is still uncertain. Maybe one person became supportive, but you still don't have enough backup for childcare, transportation, healthcare, or emergencies. Maybe the notification really is ordinary this time. Context protects you from two errors. The first is treating every alarm as proof of current danger. The second error is treating every alarm as irrational because someone else wants the crisis to be over. So going back, you check your state, and then you check your context, and then the third thing you check is impact. What is the state making harder? Is it harder to rest? Is it harder to work? Is it attention harder? Is parenting harder? Is it making eating harder, driving, communication, making decisions? Is it harder to feel safe enough to ask for help? Ask for help. Impact helps you decide whether a small adjustment may be enough or whether qualified support makes sense. If a response persists, causes major distress, or interferes with daily functioning, speaking with a qualified professional is appropriate. Then choose one bounded support. Alex might silence non-essential notifications for 20 minutes while leaving emergency contacts available. That's one thing Alex can do. Alex could use the free hour to schedule one conversation with a qualified professional. Alex might reduce one avoidable demand instead of trying to force relaxation on command. The book OLNE asks you to notice your internal state and create a pause before you act. A pause isn't a cure, it doesn't prove safety. It simply creates a moment in which the first response isn't the only available action. And any support should leave you with more choices about your own life, not fewer choices. Does the support give you another option while you remain free to say yes, no, stop, or change the arrangement? Or does one person or system become the only place your safety can come from? Support isn't surrender. Self management isn't self blame. And explanation doesn't erase accountability. If your post emergency state leads you to become irritable, controlling, withdrawn, or unreliable, understanding the context may help you respond differently. It doesn't require another person to accept harmful conduct without limits. Let's return to Alex one more time. The next notification sounds. Alex notices the state, immediate checking, tension, tomorrow already beginning inside today's free hour. Then Alex checks the context. The pickup is covered. No new emergency is present in the message, and several ordinary responsibilities remain. Then Alex checks the impact. Rest is disappearing, attention is narrowing, and sleep has been suffering. So, after checking those three things, Alex chooses one support. Non-essential notifications are silenced for 20 minutes. Emergency contacts can still come through. The phone stays nearby. Alex isn't performing perfect calm. Alex is testing one additional option. Maybe Alex still doesn't relax. That doesn't make the check useless. The goal was never to force a feeling. The goal was to replace the global sentiment. Something is permanently wrong with me. Something's wrong with me. I'm broken. It changes that with specific information that can guide the next action. State, context, impact. What am I noticing? What changed and what remains? What is this making harder? And then, after finding out those three things, one bounded support. A response can outlast the situation that once made it useful without becoming your permanent identity. You don't have to call the response irrational. You don't have to call it destiny either. You can observe it, respect the conditions that shaped it, check the reality around you now, and decide what kind of support preserves your options. The emergency may not end everywhere all at once, but you can begin meeting the life that exists right now. What's happening now? One accurate observation and one chosen support at a time. I'm delighted I got to support you on this one. This is Ron John. I'll see you on the next episode. Bye bye.
When you went still, the room went hollow. I learned the shape of a swallow's sorrow. Then came the porch lights, one by one, small gold halos on different doors. A thread in my palm, another in yours. I started tying what I could keep. Not one hand, now she just leaves the mug by the blue pen. Divin calls late with a busted joke, pulling me back from the edge of smoke. Nia knows silence like a second language. She sits with the ache and does not manage it. And Leon's laugh hits like a hammer, plain and bright on a winter. Now every bond has its own grain, its own art, its own weight. No single river carries my name. I am a hand with many roads in it. Not one hand, not one can hold more than one. Porch lights on, all these names in the dark. Not a train, no one wears your face. I build bridges where the dark used to stay. Look up, the sky isn't one thing, it breaks into constellations, separate sparks linked by distance, a woven rope made strong by the strands. 100 small crossings appearing over black